Manchester United's big transfer gamble. Will Sesko replace Højlund at Old Trafford? Welcome to Unite United News, your most trusted source for all things Manchester United. When it comes to getting the real story behind the headlines, the inside scoop on transfers, and the truth about what's happening at Old Trafford, we're the community you can count on. Our team works around the clock to bring you accurate, timely, and detailed coverage that you won't find anywhere else. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into one of the biggest transfer stories shaking up Manchester United right now. Picture this. A towering 6'5" striker, nicknamed the Beast, could soon be terrorizing Premier League defenses in a Manchester United shirt. Meanwhile, a £72 million signing, who was supposed to be the future of United's attack, might be packing his bags for Germany. This isn't just another transfer rumor. This is a story that could reshape United's entire attacking strategy for years to come. The Benjamin Sesko story. Why everyone wants the Beast. Let's start with the man everyone's talking about, Benjamin Sesko. This 22-year-old Slovenian striker has been turning heads across Europe, and it's not hard to see why. Standing at an imposing 6 feet 5 inches tall, Sesko has earned the nickname the Beast for good reason. He combines his massive frame with surprising speed and technical ability, making him a nightmare for defenders to handle. But what makes Sesko so special? First, let's look at his numbers. At just 22 years old, his goal-scoring record is already being compared to some of the best strikers in world football. He's represented Slovenia 41 times, which is impressive for someone so young. His performances for RB Leipzig have caught the attention of top clubs across Europe, and now he's available for transfer. Here's where it gets interesting for United fans. RB Leipzig failed to qualify for European football for the first time since their promotion to the Bundesliga in 2016. This means they need to sell their star players to balance the books, and Sesko is their biggest asset. The German club has slapped an €80 million price tag on their prized striker, which works out to about £69.7 million. Why is this good news for United? Well, it means one of Europe's most promising young strikers is actually available, and United are apparently his first-choice destination. According to German football expert Jan-Åge Fjørtoft, Sesko prefers a move to Old Trafford over other interested clubs, including Newcastle United. The Newcastle Challenge, a two-horse race. But United aren't the only ones chasing Sesko's signature. Newcastle United are also very much in the race, and they're not making it easy for the Red Devils. The Magpies are prepared to go all out for the Slovenian striker. They're willing to match Leipzig's financial demands and meet Sesko's salary expectations. This puts real pressure on United to act fast. What makes this even more interesting is that this has become a straight two-horse race. Al Hilal, the Saudi Arabian club that was also interested, has officially dropped out of the running. They've decided to focus their efforts on signing Liverpool's Darwin Núñez instead. This simplifies things but also intensifies the competition between United and Newcastle. Fraser Fletcher, a transfer insider, has revealed that Newcastle are ready to do whatever it takes to land Sesko. They're not just willing to match Leipzig's demands. They're prepared to offer competitive wages that would make the striker one of their highest earners. This shows just how serious they are about bringing him to St. James Park. However, there's a crucial advantage that United seem to have. Despite Newcastle's aggressive pursuit, reports suggest that Sesko's heart is set on joining Manchester United. This preference could be the deciding factor in what's shaping up to be an expensive bidding war. What Sesko's agent wants. The two key requirements. Elvis Basanovic, Sesko's agent, has been quite clear about what it will take to secure his client's signature. He's revealed two specific things that Manchester United must demonstrate if they want to complete the deal. First, United need to show they have a special project in place. Basanovic isn't just talking about money here. He wants to see a clear vision for how Sesko fits into the club's future plans. The agent has made it clear that his client won't just move for the sake of moving. They want to see a proper development plan and understand exactly what role Sesko would play in United's system. Second, and perhaps more importantly, they want to work with a special coach. This is where Ruben Amorim comes into the picture. The Portuguese manager has already shown his tactical flexibility and his ability to work with young players. Basanovic and Sesko need to be convinced that Amorim is the right person to develop the striker's career further. The agent's comments are quite revealing. Sesko is not competing with anyone. It's him versus him every day. We have a clear plan for the future and media speculation doesn't affect us. He will move from RB Leipzig only when we recognize a special club. This suggests that Sesko isn't desperate to leave Leipzig. He's being selective about his next move, which actually works in United's favor if they can present the right package. The player and his team are looking for quality over quantity. They want the right move, not just any move. United's transfer strategy, the numbers game. So what exactly are United prepared to offer? According to transfer expert Rudy Galletti, the Red Devils are finalizing their proposal and are considering a bid worth 83 to 84 million euros, including bonuses. This would be slightly higher than Newcastle's offer of 80 million euros, but it still falls short of Leipzig's asking price by around 6 to 7 million euros. This creates an interesting situation. Leipzig have made it clear they won't lower their demands and will only negotiate seriously if they receive a competitive bid. United's expected offer might not be enough to immediately close the deal, but it could help speed up talks and start serious negotiations. The structure of United's bid is also important. Rather than offering the full amount up front, they're looking at a package that includes bonuses and performance-related payments. This is a common approach in modern football transfers, allowing clubs to manage their cash flow while still meeting the seller's valuation over time. Leipzig have also insisted on including a sell-on clause in any future transfer. This means they would receive a percentage of any fee if Sesko is sold again in the future. For a young player with such potential, this could be worth millions down the line. The Højlund situation. From hero to zero? While United are chasing Sesko, there's another story developing that's just as important. The future of Rasmus Højlund. The Danish striker was supposed to be United's long-term solution up front when he joined from Atlanta in summer 2023 for £72 million. But things haven't gone according to plan. Let's be honest about Højlund's time at United so far. In 95 appearances, he scored just 26 goals and provided only 6 assists. For a striker who cost £72 million, these numbers are disappointing. Even more concerning is his Premier League record. He's failed to score in 49 of his 62 top-flight appearances for United. The Danish international went through a particularly difficult period where he didn't score in 21 consecutive games across all competitions. That's a lot of pressure for any young player, let alone one carrying such a hefty price tag. His confidence seemed to suffer, and his performances became increasingly inconsistent. Ruben Amorim has been diplomatic about Højlund's future, but reading between the lines, it's clear the manager isn't entirely convinced. When asked about the striker, Amorim said, "I'm really happy with Rasmus, but I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market. I don't know what is going to happen until the market is closed." This isn't exactly a ringing endorsement from the manager. If Amorim was confident in Højlund's ability to lead United's attack, you'd expect stronger backing in public statements. Erik ten Hag's reunion plan. Here's where the story takes an interesting twist. Erik ten Hag, now managing Bayer Leverkusen, is apparently pushing hard for a reunion with Højlund. The Dutch manager was the one who originally signed the striker for United and still believes in his potential. Ten Hag is reportedly a firm believer in Højlund's abilities and wants to make him a cornerstone of his new attacking setup at Bayer Leverkusen. This makes sense when you think about it. Ten Hag knows the player well, understands his strengths and weaknesses, and might be the perfect coach to help Højlund rediscover his best form. But there's a problem with this potential reunion. Højlund himself doesn't seem interested in leaving United. The striker has publicly stated his intention to stay and fight for his place at Old Trafford. He told the Daily Mail, "My plan is very clear, and that is for me to stay and fight for my spot whatever happens." This creates a complex situation for United. They have a player who wants to stay but isn't performing at the level required. Meanwhile, they're trying to sign a replacement who could cost them around £70 million. The mathematics of this situation is challenging. especially with financial fair play regulations to consider. The financial reality. Can United afford both deals? This brings us to one of the most important questions in this entire saga. Can Manchester United actually afford to sign Sesko without selling Højlund? The financial implications are significant and could determine how this whole story plays out. According to reports, United are so keen to move Højlund on that they're prepared to accept just £30 million for him. This would represent a massive loss on their original £72 million investment. But from a practical standpoint, it might be necessary to free up funds and wages for new signings. The Sesko deal alone could cost United up to £70 million, depending on bonuses and add-ons. Add his wages to that figure, and you're looking at a significant financial commitment. If United can recoup £30 million from selling Højlund, it makes the Sesko deal much more manageable from a financial fair play perspective. There's also the wage bill to consider. Højlund is currently one of United's higher earners, and his departure would free up a significant amount in the weekly wage budget. This could help offset Sesko's salary demands and give United more flexibility in their overall squad planning. However, selling a player for £30 million who cost £72 million just 18 months earlier would be a massive admission of failure. It would raise serious questions about United's recruitment strategy and their ability to develop young players. Other interested clubs. The competition heats up. While United and Newcastle are the main contenders for Sesko, Højlund has attracted interest from several other clubs. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Napoli, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and Eintracht Frankfurt are all reportedly keen on the Danish striker. This level of interest suggests that despite his struggles at United, other clubs still see potential in Højlund. It also gives United more options when it comes to finding a buyer, which could help them negotiate a better price than the reported £30 million. Juventus are showing particular interest, especially given the uncertainty around their current strikers Dusan Vlahovic and Randal Kolo Muani. The Italian giants might be willing to pay more than other clubs, especially if they're desperate to strengthen their attack. RB Leipzig's interest in Højlund is also intriguing. They've been mentioned as potential suitors for a swap deal involving Sesko. While this might seem like an elegant solution on paper, the financial values don't match up, and both players would need to agree to the moves. Ruben Amorim's vision, building for the future. Central to all of this is Ruben Amorim's vision for Manchester United's future. The Portuguese manager has already shown he's not afraid to make tough decisions, and his approach to the striker situation will be crucial. Amorim has publicly named his 6-player leadership group at United, showing he's thinking about building a strong team culture. His tactical system typically requires a striker who can hold up play, bring others into the game, and provide a physical presence in the box. On paper, both Sesko and Højlund could fit this role, but their styles are quite different. Sesko's height and physical presence make him an obvious target man, but he's also shown the ability to run in behind defenses and create chances for himself. His versatility could be exactly what Amorim needs to implement his preferred tactical system. Højlund, on the other hand, is more of a traditional number 9 who relies on service from his teammates. His struggles at United might partly be due to the team's inability to create clear-cut chances for him. Under a different system with better service, he might be more effective. The question for Amorim is whether he believes Højlund can adapt to his system or if he needs to start fresh with a new striker. His public comments suggest he's keeping his options open, but privately, the pursuit of Sesko tells its own story. The timeline. When will decisions be made? According to several reports, decisions need to be made quickly. Jan-Åge Fjørtoft has suggested that clubs are setting deadlines for Sesko's decision because they can't wait indefinitely. Both United and Newcastle have alternative targets and need clarity to move forward with their transfer plans. United are expected to submit their official offer for Sesko later this week. This bid will be crucial in determining whether they can stay in the race, or if Newcastle's more straightforward approach will win out. The coming days could be decisive in this entire saga. For Højlund, the timeline is less clear. If United are serious about signing Sesko, they'll need to resolve the Danish striker's situation relatively quickly. The longer they wait, the fewer options they'll have for finding a buyer willing to pay a reasonable fee. The transfer window dynamics also play a role here. Teams tend to make their big signings early in the window, leaving less attractive options for later in the summer. If United want to maximize their return on Højlund, they need to act soon. What this means for United fans. So what should Manchester United fans make of all this transfer activity? There are several ways to look at the situation, and not all of them are encouraging. On the positive side, the pursuit of Sesko shows ambition. United are targeting one of Europe's most promising young strikers, someone who could lead their attack for the next decade. His preference for joining United over Newcastle also suggests the club's appeal remains strong despite recent struggles. However, the potential sale of Højlund at such a massive loss raises serious questions about the club's recruitment strategy. How did they get it so wrong with a player they were so confident about just 18 months ago? And what guarantee is there that Sesko won't suffer the same fate? The financial implications are also concerning. Losing £40 million or more on Højlund while spending another £70 million on his replacement is not sustainable in the long term. It suggests a lack of long-term planning and strategic thinking. From a footballing perspective, the potential changes could be positive. Sesko's physical attributes and playing style might be better suited to the Premier League than Højlund's approach. His height and strength could give United a different attacking dimension they've been missing. The bigger picture, United's transfer strategy. This entire situation reflects broader questions about Manchester United's transfer strategy and decision-making processes. The club has spent heavily in recent years but hasn't always seen the expected returns on their investments. The Højlund signing was supposed to be different. He was young, talented, and had shown promise in Serie A. The club paid a premium for his potential, expecting him to develop into a world-class striker. The fact that they're now willing to sell him at such a loss suggests something went wrong in either the recruitment process or his development at the club. This raises important questions about United's ability to develop young players. Is the environment at Old Trafford too pressured for young players to thrive? Are the coaching methods effective? Is the tactical system suitable for the players they're signing? The pursuit of Sesko represents another big gamble. While he looks promising, there's no guarantee he'll adapt to the Premier League any better than Højlund did. The club needs to learn from past mistakes and ensure they're setting up new signings for success rather than failure. What needs to happen next? For this situation to work out positively for Manchester United, several things need to fall into place. First, they need to convince Sesko that they have the right project and the right coach to develop his career. This means being clear about their tactical plans and how he fits into them. Second, they need to find a way to make the finances work. Whether that means selling Højlund at a loss or finding creative ways to structure the Sesko deal, the numbers need to add up under financial fair play regulations. Third, they need to learn from the Højlund experience. What went wrong with his development, and how can they avoid repeating those mistakes with Sesko? This might involve changes to coaching methods, tactical systems, or the support structure around new signings. Finally, they need to move quickly. The longer this drags on, the more likely it is that Newcastle will swoop in with a better offer or that Sesko will decide to stay at Leipzig for another season. The Newcastle factor, a real threat. Throughout all of this, Newcastle United remain a serious threat to United's plans. The Magpies have several advantages in this race that shouldn't be underestimated. First, they appear to have more straightforward finances. While United are juggling financial fair play concerns and trying to balance their books, Newcastle seem more prepared to meet Leipzig's full asking price without complicated deal structures. Second, Newcastle can offer Sesko something United might struggle with: guaranteed playing time. While United have other attacking options and significant pressure to win immediately, Newcastle could present themselves as the perfect place for Sesko to develop without excessive pressure. Third, Newcastle's recent trajectory has been impressive. They've qualified for the Champions League and are building something exciting under Eddie Howe. For a young player, the prospect of being part of a rising project might be more appealing than joining a club trying to return to past glories. However, United's history and global appeal still count for something. The chance to play for one of the world's biggest clubs, at one of football's most famous stadiums, remains attractive to most players. The key is whether United can translate that appeal into a concrete offer that beats Newcastle's proposal. Conclusion: a defining moment for United. As we wrap up this comprehensive look at Manchester United's striker situation, it's clear that we're witnessing a potential defining moment for the club's future direction. The decision to pursue Benjamin Sesko while potentially selling Rasmus Højlund represents more than just a simple player swap. It's a statement about United's ambitions, their willingness to admit mistakes, and their vision for success under Ruben Amorim. If United can successfully sign Sesko and he thrives at Old Trafford, it could be the beginning of a new era of successful recruitment. The Slovenian striker has all the physical and technical attributes to succeed in the Premier League, and his preference for joining United gives them a real advantage in negotiations. However, if this deal falls through and Sesko ends up at Newcastle instead, it will be another missed opportunity for United. It would also raise serious questions about the club's ability to compete with their rivals in the transfer market. The Højlund situation, regardless of how it plays out, represents a significant financial loss and a recruitment mistake that United need to learn from. Whether he stays to fight for his place or moves on to restart his career elsewhere, his time at United so far has been disappointing. For United fans, this entire saga embodies both the hope and frustration of supporting the club in recent years. The ambition to sign top players is there, but so is the uncertainty about whether those signings will work out. The pursuit of Sesko offers hope, but the Højlund experience serves as a reminder that expensive signings don't always guarantee success. What happens next will tell us a lot about Manchester United's direction under their new management structure. Can they learn from past mistakes and make smarter decisions in the transfer market? Can they convince top players to choose Old Trafford over rival destinations? Can they build a team capable of competing at the highest level again? These questions will be answered in the coming weeks as the transfer window progresses. One thing is certain. This story is far from over, and the decisions made now could shape Manchester United's future for years to come. Stay tuned to Unite United News for all the latest updates on this developing story. We'll continue to bring you the most accurate and detailed coverage of all things Manchester United, because when it comes to your club, you deserve nothing less than the complete truth. Trust us to keep you informed every step of the way as this fascinating transfer saga unfolds.